Those who stand for nothing fall for everything. Give all the power to the many, they will oppress the few. Give all the power to the few, they will oppress the many. The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceable citizens from keeping their own arms. A well-adjusted person is one who makes the same mistake twice without getting nervous. The art of reading is to skip judiciously. I never expect a perfect work from an imperfect man. A nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master, and deserves one. Who talks most about freedom and equality? Is it not those who hold the Bill of Rights in one hand and a whip for affrighted slaves in the other? I have thought it my duty to exhibit things as they are, not as they ought to be. Hard words are very rarely useful. Real firmness is good for everything. Strut is good for nothing. Men are reasoning rather than reasonable animals. Men are reasoning rather than reasonable animals. A powerful, victorious ally is yet another name for master. The best we can hope for concerning the people at large is that they be properly armed. For in politics, as in religion, it is equally absurd to aim at making proselytes by fire and sword. Heresies in either can rarely be cured by persecution. If we must have an enemy at the head of government, let it be one whom we can oppose, and for whom we are not responsible. Vigor of government is essential to the security of liberty. Here, sir, the people govern. Here they act by their immediate representatives. Divide et impera must be the motto of every nation that either hates or fears us. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. There is a certain enthusiasm in liberty, that makes human nature rise above itself, in acts of bravery and heroism. When avarice takes the lead in a state, it is commonly the forerunner of its fall. If the sword of oppression be permitted to lop off one limb without opposition, reiterated strokes will soon dismember the whole body. Of those men who have overturned the liberties of republics, the greatest number have begun their career by paying an obsequious court to the people, commencing demagogues, and ending tyrants. A strong body makes the mind strong. I advise the gun. While this gives moderate exercise to the body, it gives boldness, enterprise, and independence to the mind. I always feel how necessary you are to me. But when you are absent, I become still more sensible of it and look around in vain for that satisfaction which you alone can bestow. The voice of the people has been said to be the voice of God, and, however generally this maxim has been quoted and believed, it is not true to fact. The people are turbulent and changing, they seldom judge or determine right. Nature of war to increase the executive at the expense of the legislative authority. Best of wives and best of women. Experience is the oracle of truth, and where its responses are unequivocal, they ought to be conclusive and sacred. Men of factious tempers, of local prejudices, or of sinister designs, may, by intrigue, by corruption, or by other means, first obtain the suffrages, and then betray the interests, of the people. Cold in my professions, warm in my friendships, I wish, my dear Lawrence, it might be in my power, by action rather than words, to convince you that I love you. Divisions at home would invite dangers from abroad. Constitutions should consist only of general provisions. The reason is that they must necessarily be permanent, and that they cannot calculate for the possible change of things. No man ought certainly to be a judge in his own cause, or in any cause in respect to which he has the least interest or bias. To be more safe, they at length become willing to run the risk of being less free,